Welcome to Story Planet, where we bring you relaxing and peaceful tales to help you unwind. Tonight's story is June's Honey, A Dream from the Hills. So, get comfortable, let go of the day, and allow yourself to drift into the peaceful countryside, where the quiet hum of bees and the beauty of nature inspire a simple yet extraordinary journey. Now, let's begin. Nestled deep in the countryside, June's small home sat at the edge of rolling hills, where every morning was kissed by the golden light of the rising sun. The air was crisp, pure, and carried the gentle scent of wild herbs that grew freely around her quaint village. Here, time seemed to slow down, allowing every breath to be savored, every moment to be cherished. This was a place where nature thrived, untainted and generous, offering a bounty of resources from the earth, hills, and streams. June had always felt grateful for the life she had chosen, far from the busyness of the city, where health seemed to come naturally, gifted by the wholesome environment surrounding her. The hills that hugged her village were rich in life. Tall trees reached skyward, casting cool shadows over the emerald fields. Meadows were painted with wildflowers, their colors dancing with the breeze, while streams ran clear and cold, their water nourishing the land and everything that grew on it. Birds flitted about, filling the air with song, while deer grazed peacefully at the forest's edge, their presence a reminder of the harmony between all living things. June's life was woven into the rhythm of this countryside. Her days were spent tending to her small herbal garden, her hands gently brushing the soft petals of lavender, thyme, rosemary, and peppermint. She shared the fruits of her labor with her neighbors, gifting them with bundles of fragrant herbs or baskets of fresh vegetables. Each plant she nurtured was a gift from nature's hand, and she took pride in knowing that her care and attention helped it flourish. It was a peaceful life, full of quiet satisfaction, but June had always felt something more stirring within her, a deeper purpose. She loved her village, loved the hills that surrounded her, but she also wanted to give back in a way that would uplift her entire community. The abundance of the land was evident to her, and she dreamed of sharing its richness with the world beyond. Her heart whispered of possibilities, and she began to wonder if she could achieve something greater, not just for herself, but for everyone who called this countryside home. Then, one sunny afternoon, the quiet hum of bees filled the air as a simple yet powerful gift arrived on her doorstep, sparking the beginning of something she had only dreamed of. An old woman, a longtime neighbor, knocked on June's door, holding a small wooden beehive in her hands. She was moving away to join her children in the city, and wanted to pass her bees on to someone who would care for them as lovingly as she had. "I've cared for these bees for years," the woman said, her voice warm but tinged with the sadness of parting. "I can't take them with me, but I know they'll thrive here, with you." June accepted the gift with heartfelt gratitude, her mind already imagining the possibilities. Bees would bring honey, and honey would bring new life to her little garden. She placed the hive in a sunny corner where wildflowers bloomed thickest, and soon The bees began their work, fluttering from blossom to blossom, gathering nectar and weaving their golden magic. June often found herself watching them, marveling at their dedication, their quiet, unassuming industriousness. The honey was like no other. It tasted of the wild hills, the herbs, the flowers, and the purity of the countryside. Its sweetness was rich, yet it carried the subtle notes of the herbs that grew nearby, the very essence of the land itself. When June shared the honey with her neighbors, they were immediately enchanted by its flavor. Soon, word began to spread beyond the village. June realized that this honey, so full of the natural beauty of her surroundings, could be more than just a treat for her neighbors. It could become something much greater, a way to bring attention to the untapped wealth of the countryside, and a way to share its purity with the world. And so, June's honey was born. What started as a few jars shared with friends quickly blossomed into something far bigger. People from nearby towns began asking for June's honey, enchanted not only by its taste, but by the story behind it. The knowledge that this honey came from the heart of the countryside, from the hills and fields tended with love and care, untouched by pollution or modern farming chemicals. Soon, her honey became the talk of not just the village, but of the surrounding towns as well. The demand grew, and so did June's vision. The hills that once provided only for the village now provided for many, and June found herself at the forefront of a movement to preserve and protect the natural resources of her home. She partnered with local farmers, encouraging sustainable practices, promoting the beauty of simple, natural living. Together, they upheld the highest standards of purity, ensuring that everything they produced was as wholesome and untouched as the hills themselves. Her honey became a symbol of her countryside, rich, pure, and full of life. As June's honey grew, so did its reach. Shops across the country sought it out, drawn by its authenticity and its promise of purity. People knew that every jar carried with it the vitality of the land, the love and care June put into nurturing not just her bees, but the entire process. June was humbled by how far her honey had traveled, from a small village in the hills to cities and homes far beyond. And yet, through it all, June remained grounded in the simple joys of life. She didn't seek wealth for herself, only enough to keep the business running, to sustain her neighbors, and to give back to society. As her brand grew, so did her desire to help those in need. She began using the profits to support community projects, building schools, providing resources for families, and investing in the future of her village. The success of her honey allowed her to lift others, just as she had been lifted by the land she loved. In the quiet moments, as the sun set behind the hills and the bees returned to their hive, June would sit on her porch and reflect on how far she had come. Her life had always been intertwined with the land, but now she had shared that connection with the world. Her honey had carried the essence of her village to far-off places, and through it, she had uplifted not just her own life, but the lives of those around her. As the stars began to twinkle in the darkening sky, June felt a deep sense of contentment. She had achieved more than she had ever imagined, not for herself, but for the land she loved, the village she called home, and the people who would carry on its legacy. Her life was a reflection of the hills, quiet, steady, and full of endless possibility. With a smile, she whispered to the night, "Thank you," feeling the peace of knowing that she had given back as much as she had received, lifting her village, her people, and herself in ways that were as natural and pure as the honey she so lovingly tended. As she reflected on her journey, one thought lingered in her heart. If you dream and feel that it can happen, it will. With genuine effort, no matter where you are or what your circumstances may be, your dreams can take root. Whether in a bustling city or a quiet village nestled among the hills, the power of belief and persistence can turn even the smallest of ideas into something grand. June's honey was more than just a business. It was proof that no dream was too small, no place too remote, to bring forth something beautiful and lasting. Thank you for joining us on Story Planet. If you felt like you wandered through the countryside, heard the bees humming, and could almost taste the sweet honey, consider giving a thumbs up. And if June's journey brought you a sense of peace and inspiration, feel free to share it with friends and family. Don't forget to subscribe for daily stories from Story Planet, offering peaceful escapes every day. Wishing you a peaceful night and a relaxed sleep. Sweet dreams.